And good afternoon, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and this is Tom Chenault Show. I hope you're all having a great, great day, no matter where you are in the world. I can't say whether it's afternoon, even though it's afternoon here in Colorado, because I know we got people dialing in from Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia. Pretty funny how many notes I got. Rob Sperry is a lot more controversial than I thought. I was actually astounded at a bunch of the notes that I got. And kind of a perfect timing deal. I noticed on the MLM Watchdog this week that whoever writes that thing had written a commentary about Ted Knighton's site, businessforhome.org, where he named all these ambassadors that he wanted to have. You know, he's got that little deal going on that if you vote on the site, it's going to help him with clicks and things like that. So he's always doing a contest of some sort, but it's got some credibility because it's one of the largest lists by a long shot in the profession. So people that go on there, Rob actually won the Professional Trainer of the Year a couple of years ago over Luis Ariaza with a mad dash to the finish line. So I know Rob's familiar with Ted Knighton, but he's got this ambassadors thing out there now. And this guy was ranting and raving about a bunch of names on that thing. And I got to thinking a little bit about that and thinking a little bit about, you know, what makes a network marketing professional trainer. And there are several of them out there. And I'll tell you what, it's an interesting thing to me because for me, I'm sending my people outside of my company to spend dollars outside of my company to be trained by somebody that is better than those people in my company training them. That's basically the whole premise of it. So you knock that down to who's really got no ulterior motives and who really has the game to really provide that kind of training. And I think that list shrinks in a major hurry. And somehow, I think a lot of these network marketing legends think by virtue of their age, or they wrote a book, or they did this, or they did that, that somehow how qualifies them to be like on scholarship from this profession for the rest of their life and charging money for this or that for the rest of their life. And I'm not sure that's true. And what I love about Rob Sperry, and I do love Rob Sperry, he's on a very short list of people I love doing what he's doing. The reason I love him is because he's relevant. He's playing the game right now. He's like Higdon. He's like Warray. He's like Brooke. He's got his spikes on, and he's on the field right now. He's not giving us ribbons he earned in the fourth grade. He's playing it. Larry Thompson and his wife Taylor, they're playing right now. Jeff Roberti is playing right now. So let's take it away. Let's talk to Rob Sperry. I'm doing all the talking here. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun show, by the way. During the commercials on the radio, we stay live. So at about 19 after, the radio show goes to commercials, but we stay live here on this show. So whatever you do, don't go away. It gets actually funny during the commercials while the network radio is on break. So, Rob Sperry, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm just praying right now that I don't have my kids and my 4 kids and their 4 cousins that are over. I told them they can stay downstairs for an hour because I am on the Tom Chenault Show. So it's been an honor to get to know you. You're a close friend. I love how you're a straight shooter. You've always been a straight shooter, it sounds like. But the last several years, I can always call you up and you'll just shoot straight with me and tell me, I don't like this, I like that. You should do this, you should do this, shoot straight with me. And it's been a lot of fun learning from you and chatting with you on your morning walks. That's usually when it happens.
Yeah, Rob's on my speed dial. I've got him on the contact mapping dialer. So on that contact mapping, I set certain people up for either weekly or monthly calls. And it's important to me that I talk to these people, and left to my own intentions, I'm going to forget about them and talk to them quarterly or yearly. And I don't want to do that. So I've got them all dialed into a specific call. And after my AA meeting, I'm walking and I call Rob Sperry and I talk to him and I ask him tough questions. If I've heard rumors out in the world about this or heard rumors about that, I'm going to call Sperry up and say, what's going on here? I'm hearing this. And he's one of the few guys, Troy Dooley, same deal, that's got the guts to like shoot from the hip and say, here's why I did that, or somebody's lying, or this guy. And I'm not going to mention any names. And I've got like 3 names in my head that I want to call these guys out so bad. It's just coming out of my mouth, and I just want to do it so bad, but I'm going to let these guys off the hook.
And I know some of them.
Yeah,
I
you know
won't
one of
mention
them really
either.
badly. Because he retired. He retires. Here's what he does. He's a network marketer. He's not that big a network marketer. And I'm already suspecting him. And then he retires, and he announces to the world that now he's a professional trainer of the profession. And that's a bunch of bull. So he goes out and he's training like crazy, and he's doing all that, and he fails miserably at that because he kind of failed at being a network marketer. But he's got this list, and he's got everybody all pumped up. And then we have this tear-driven speech that I've decided to go back to the field. And he nailed us twice, and that just makes me crazy. So I called him out on it. I like the guy. I just didn't like that, and I think he doesn't even think I like him. But, it's just these profession trainers make me nuts. So, Rob Sperry, what gives you and excluding what you're doing today, because what you're doing today is completely relevant.
Yeah.
It's completely right now, it is insane information that you teach that nobody else is teaching, and it's amazing. But let's take that back just a shade to, were you ever a successful network marketer?
Yes, I was. I had a lot more failures than successes.
We all did. Speak to that, though. So you've had
We all did. Yeah.
Well, that's not a very long.
So I started in the network marketing industry about 10 years ago.
This will be 10
years, August 8th.
This is going to be a terrible show if you only answer yes, no. So you've got to give me long answers. Okay.
I'm trying to go. I got interrupted.
Okay,
I
go
think
ahead.
there's a lag. That's why. But so 10 years ago, I started the network marketing industry, August 8th, 2008. So it'll be 10 years just in a couple of days here in about a week. And I started out in the industry, and I call myself a crazy ambitious introvert. What does that mean? Introverts, people think, are all shy. A lot of introverts aren't shy. Tom's an introvert. I'm an introvert. We just like to sometimes have our own space. We like to be chill. When I'm on the airplane, I pray that the person next to me isn't going to talk to me. So that was me. So I started out in the network marketing industry. In my very first month, I was too scared to present the business, but I was willing to go talk to new people. I ended up doing $45,000 in sales my first 3 weeks in network marketing part-time. That generated a huge bonus check, not a residual check, a bonus check. And over the course of 3 years, I was the top recruiter out of 1 million distributors in a multi-billion-dollar company. It's a company that's been around for over 30 years. And that was a remarkable experience. I had incredible mentors. I had incredible people that were helping me. I transitioned, and I was able to create a little deal that is no longer around, so I can mention the name. It was called Mint, M-Y-N-T. Monavie had done about $4 billion in sales, and they needed a rebrand. They needed somebody to come in and help. So myself and 2 others, we went in and created a fun little rebrand there. And we had a completely different back office, completely different name. We created completely different products. We launched day one with $1 million in sales. I was both consultant in that company as well as hybrid distributor. And my team, as far as Mint sales, I had the most amount of Mint sales in the entire company. That's even going against people that had made 10, 20, $30 million that were part of the parent company, Monavie, at that time, which Monavie is no longer. And so that's the short version. I can go as long as you want, Tom. I know we got time. So you tell me.
No, that's great. Now here's the deal. That shuts people up right there. So you guys, not only does he have the pedigree, he's been there. He's been a recruiter. He's had an organization. He's been a company owner. He's done all those things. So this is no fly-by-night guy. And, the social media stuff he's doing right now is cutting edge. There's only 2 or 3 people that are doing as well, as good, and as much as he is. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But next question before we get there, there's another problem. So the next big problem is, and this one really took another friend of mine down. Which was pretty funny. So here's the question. Have you a position in other companies? Are you one of those guys doing the secret positions all over the place, in the crypto deal, in this, in that, and everybody thinks that they're the smartest guy in the room? I can tell you this, Rob, before you answer the question. I don't care if you do or don't, but if you do, disclose it. If you don't, I just can't stand the cover up. That bothers me more than anything else. Hell, I call myself a journalist. You know, that's what my supposed whole thing is. I've been on the radio for years, many places different than network marketing, and I truly call myself a journalist. But I also happen to be a rep in a company and have a huge position. So I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world if I tried to tell people I was impartial, because I'm not impartial. I've got another, you have to deal with that when you deal with me, but at least I'm telling you the truth. So I'm asking you point blank, do you do secret positions in other companies?
100% no. First off, everybody would know. There are no secrets, as you know, in network marketing. 2 people find out, 10 people find out, 20 people find out. You're going to have to go recruit some people. Everybody has 2 best friends. And the other thing is I look at is, Tom, you and I talked about this. You talked to me about this well over a year ago, and you said the exact same thing you just said here. You said, anything's fine as long as you're open about it, because people can choose if they want to trust you or not. But when you're not open about it, they don't know if they can believe you. In fact, they don't believe you because now they find that there's hidden information that's not disclosed. And so I look at it where I'm at right now. It would ruin and tarnish my entire brand as far as coaching goes. And when you say, like you said earlier, and you and I had this conversation, when you say, well, you hate it when people go out and they coach and they say they're coaching and they're not building a network marketing, and then all of a sudden they're building a network marketing. And maybe it's happened once or twice. I don't know anyone who's ever been a successful coach in network marketing that's gone back into the field. The ones that go back into the field have never made it as a coach. And so for me, this was never my plan. This was actually not my intent. I just started doing a lot of Facebook Lives. I live in Utah. I met with a lot of leaders and companies asked me to consult. Teams started asking me to coach. It transitioned, and it just got to the point where I just realized, like you said, you got to choose. And so for me, I personally felt like I couldn't build the ultimate trust with
we got to
helping out. And some have done it.
Okay, so we have to take a break. And the break will be, so we're going to commercial here in about 10 seconds. So thank you, GCN.
And everybody stay with us.
Don't worry. We're going to be right back. Don't move a muscle. We're doing a commercial. We'll be back. Okay, we're back. Hello, Adrian. Come on in here and talk to Rob Sperry. Okay, so now we're on break, everybody. So now we're off the other deal, and we're just, hello, Johnny Tucker and Alan. Wow, from Noosa, Australia. Anybody? Wow. Rob, we can't hear Rob.
Check this out on Facebook.
Okay, Rob, what's up, man? Rob, you're live.
Hey, Adrian, what's going on?
I don't think I'm on. Oh, hold on. We got to turn my mic on.
I can hear you. I'm checking out. I'm just on right here, just checking out the Facebook Live here, looking at the comments.
The feed over here. Hey, Rob, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. We got some more energy now. I love it.
We just barbecued Rob during the first segment.
I know, man. You put the screws on and you asked him the tough questions.
Well, we had to, because all that does is open this thing up. Now we're gonna, now we painted him like he's got credibility. Several people said that. So now all we got to do is get people to understand that this guy's got some game, and they go to the game of networking and they do all that jazz. And we'll talk about that during the show when actually everybody's listening, because we want to make sure people buy your book. But Adrian, what are you doing these days now that we're doing a little off-the-cuff commercial? What's going on with you?
So we're working on this contact mapping app, and it was so cool to get to be live with Rob, a little over a couple weeks ago, and just talk a little bit about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because really, the two things go together. And I think what Rob does so well is he teaches people the right way to do this business in a way that honors other people, that produces results. He shows you what to do and what not to do. And what we are trying to do is give you a tool and a philosophy and a system that makes it really easy for you to build relationships across the board, not even just for your network marketing business, but in every aspect of your life, in a way that keeps you in touch with people, that keeps you on top of that, and that makes sure that people don't fall away from you, because the reality is we're all so busy that our number one enemy is that we just get too busy and we lose track of our old friends, our new acquaintances, and all of a sudden it's been 6 months, we haven't talked, and now it's like I don't know what that person's up to anymore. I'd feel weird calling him.
And Sperry hit the nail on the head when I was calling, because I call him he's on a rotating basis, and no one believes that somebody remembers to call them, because all we want to be is remembered. And Rob's really good about that. I mean, he's also a very, very, you're good at what you do. You've got those skills, don't you, Rob?
I do my best. That's one of the things I've been blessed with. I stay in contact with people. I network. I'm a relationship type of person.
And you're not afraid to ask somebody to hook you up with somebody. You are one of those guys that says, I need a guy to get me somebody. You called me on the phone and said, I want to get to Eric Warre. And, I love Rob. I love Eric. That was an absolute no-brainer. I just picked up the phone and called Eric and said, talk to Rob, and 5 minutes later they were talking. Why? Because your database, everybody, is your biggest asset. And it is something you probably really, really abuse. And if you want to get dialed in and get unbelievably good at being a better friend, being a better neighbor, being a better human being, and learn and follow up at a level that you never thought possible, you need to go to contactmapping.com and download that app. I promise you, it will knock your socks off. Wouldn't you agree?
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, you just think I know of course you guys are big fans, but I just look at it, and even with my book, which by the way, you guys, like Tom knows this, Adrian knows this, buy it, don't buy it. I say buy it because it's going to help you out. You don't make money off books. Books are expensive business cards. That's all they are. It's about providing value and content to people. But the great part is the book teaches you all about relationships. I talk about in the book how I saved people's information. I would save their information, and then I would put reminders in my phone to reach back out to them. If they said no to my business, I'd reach out to people a month later or a week later just to stay in contact. If they said yes, it was for following up and everything. Now they've taken it away with contact mapping to structure that.
Yep. And he was so fascinating during that sentence. And Adrian was tapping me on the leg, and I'm going, I think my son's getting fresh with me. What he was trying to say was, we're back on the air. And welcome back. And we were back to live radio. And we're talking about Rob Sperry's book. And Rob Sperry's our guest today. And the guy is absolutely unbelievable. And you want to know him better. And I am telling you, he's written this book called The Game of Networking. He has got groups on Facebook that are enormous. The Game of Networking, that's an unbelievable book. TGON, whatever. What's that thing you're charging for? What's that thing called? TGON?
TGON Nation. So it's like the acronym for the Game of Networking, right? So TGONNation.com.
And tell us about that too.
Yeah, so I looked at it and I just thought, you know what? Everybody wants some sort of structured training. You're never a prophet in your own country. It doesn't matter how good you are at training or coaching. If you're a multi-million-dollar earner, eventually your voice falls on deaf ears. So I said, why not create a community that has structure? So I created 10 courses. They're all 10 minutes because one of the big feedback that I got from Tom and a $20+ million different earners is they all said that too many people are getting overtrained now. So can you structure it where it's simple, because successful people just do the basics better? So I created 10 trainings, 10 minutes long. It starts with the basics. And then after that, there's a community that focuses on Motivational Monday. There's accountability. There's recognition. We show you what to do and how to do it every single day. And then I bring a different $1 million earner in every single Wednesday to help teach us and train us on the basics from that course. But they have to be 18 minutes or less so we can just go and get it out so you can focus. So it's been a lot of fun.
Okay. Let me ask you, somebody asked us this question of you, and I want to know the answer.
Yeah.
If you're so successful as a network marketer, why in the world would you become a trainer? Why would you leave the network marketing world and go become a trainer? I mean, I know a lot of guys that are trainers, a lot of them. And none of them are making major rock star money. None of them. Tell me, why would you do that?
Well, a couple of them are making pretty good rock star money. So I would say that first off.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, you do know a couple. It's just all relative, right? But a couple of them are making over $1 million a year. Very few, and so it's all relative to what. And I looked at it, and it was never really the plan. But when I ended up getting out and selling my position, it was over 2 years ago. My plan wasn't I'm going to become a coach, but I didn't know where to go. I wasn't planning on I'm going to go build some big thing or anything like that. So I just started consulting. And as I was posting consistent content, like I said earlier on Facebook Lives, it just naturally happened. And so as it started happening, I started looking at it. I can be, and I know that this sounds a little bit cliche, but I can be the upline of everyone in the sense of I can provide value to so many different top leaders, 6 and 7 figure earners, to so many different teams. Some teams have great uplines like you, Tom, and they just want a different voice. And other teams, as you know, they don't have any leadership or support. They went and figured it out and they need that next level support or leadership. So most people don't know this. You know this, Tom, but I played tennis and then I taught tennis for years and years and years. So all I did is take complex things and try to break them down and communicate.
Were you
And so
good
for
as a
me,
tennis?
it
Did you
was
suck
a
as a tennis
natural
player?
transition.
Were you good as a tennis player? Or did you suck? Were you good?
I played collegiate and semi-professional tennis, but I
S-
didn't make the pro levels.
So you had success, and then you became a tennis coach. You had successes in network marketing, and you became a network marketing coach. Okay, that's all I ask for from people is if you're going to take my people that are in my organization that are looking for coaching beyond whatever I do, and I do nothing. So I understand why they're leaving me in droves to go to people like Eric Worre and like Rob Sperry and like Ray Higdon. I get that because there's some success behind what they did, and they're going to be able to learn things that I don't do. That's all you're doing, right?
Correct.
I love that.
100%.
Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. So let's take this a little bit further. What is going on? Social media is out of control. People are building businesses. I look at the Jesse Lee Wards and the Amber Voights and these people just completely crushing it. Angel Fletcher with Facebook groups and all this jazz that are completely Chinese. I don't want to use that word. I already did. If that was any kind of disparaging, I wasn't supposed to be. It meant like it was a foreign language. But anyway, now we got to take a break in 5 seconds. So thank God we'll be back right after this, and I'll clean
That's
up
a good
whatever I said.
cliffhanger. Good
Yeah,
cliffhanger.
yeah. Okay, we're back. If I offended any Chinese people, please forgive me. Go get Adrian so he can keep it. Come on out here, Marianne. Let's let these people talk to you.
He shouldn't, because Tom was just saying a language that he knows that is very sophisticated. So that's a
Oh my God.
compliment.
Yeah, that's all that was. I just meant like I can't speak Chinese. I just, once that flits through your
And those
brain,
of you that are tuned in now, we're going to go into the social media principles when we go live in a little bit. Right now, we're just going to have behind the scenes fun conversations.
yeah. So, what else is going on, Rob Sperry? I mean, so Adrian obviously is trying to launch his business, and you're trying to launch your business. It's not easy launching a business for two young entrepreneurs trying to put a footprint out there. You're trying to obviously bring content and get subscribers. He's trying to do exactly the same thing. How do you guys do that, Rob Sperry?
Yeah, I think there's really three ways if you're going to go make money off of launching a product or anything. And it's either you're going to go buy, right? Whether that's buying leads, or you're going to go build your own organic audience, or you're going to go borrow. So it's build, buy, or borrow. And those are the three. And sometimes people do a little bit of one, a little bit of the other. But I think the thing that you guys are doing that I've done and you guys have already done is you built relationships. You guys have those key relationships. I have those key relationships. I mean, I look at it, I probably did 200 videos, trainings, at least before I launched my first course. And you look at the amount of value, Tom, you've already provided in the network marketing industry. Adrian, you look at the skill set that you've already developed. And now you've already come in and started to get to know so many people in this industry so quickly. So I look at it as it's the art of taprooting and network
Yeah,
marketing. Now we're
yeah.
just using that taprooting principle for our businesses.
And how's it going for you? Trying to figure out how to
Yeah, I think it's great. I actually have a question for you, Rob, because I think you said something big there. Doing 200 videos live and effectively giving away as much unbelievable, very, very valuable content as you have, is a little bit of a leap of faith. So just talk about that for you in building the game of networking. How does that math work in your head in terms of, does this pay off? Is it worth doing it like that?
Yeah, I think that if you're going to build an organic audience, it is by far the hardest and is by far the longest route, but it is also by far the strongest and the most loyal route. If you want to make millions of dollars, all you need to do is have 1,000 loyal followers. That's it.
Yep.
Because you create 1,000 loyal followers and they're going to go buy what you have because you've provided the value and proven to them that you're going to perform and deliver, and they're going to go share that with other people. So for me, it was scary beyond belief. But what I did, Adrian, is I just made a commitment that every single week I was going to provide value at least twice a week with some sort of video, every single week. And I hated it. And then I said I was going to make a post every single day. 4 years later, I've done that. Even when I'm out of town, I make time to do that. And so the one thing I will say is not only did I provide value, but I got so much better. I've gotten so much better because I had to start figuring out, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? They've heard me over and over. How do I communicate this in a different way and say the same thing so I can get through to them? And so not only did I build the value, build the connections, build it organically in the relationships, but I got a lot better. I'm learning a lot more now than I ever did.
That's awesome.
And this would be a fun one for you, Tom. I had a distributor say to me, well, how can you teach if you're not in the field anymore? And I said, well, that's a great question. Well, I have been in the field. I've been successful multiple times, and I'm actually learning way more than I ever learned in the field. And they said, how? Because I'm working with the top distributors, all of them. So rather than just one company, I work with not all, but I work with so many different $1 million earners where I get to learn their secret sauce tips from everything they're doing. So I've learned more in the last 2 years than I ever learned before.
That is so cool.
Okay, so we're going to come back from the break, and we'll dump Adrian, and we'll let Marianne come in the next break. Isn't this fun, though?
That was good. I shoved Marianne out of the way on the way back to the chair. It was a race, but I won. I'm a little faster on my feet.
Well, that's because he wants to use Rob's credibility for contactmapping.com. He's just parlaying it.
I'm not good at hiding it.
All right. Oh, you don't have a contact mapping button or hat on. I guess that's pretty good. All right, we're coming back right now, so stick around for a couple seconds. It'll go quiet while I bring us in. All right, we're back. It's the Tom Chenault Show. We've got the great Rob Sperry, who is one of a kind, you guys. If you're not following him, you're crazy. Follow him on Facebook. Go to the Game of Networking. Just an incredible Facebook group. Join his little group, TGON. It is insane, and you're not charging people $1,000 to be in TGON though. That isn't how you made your $1 million. You didn't charge 1,000 people. How does that work? No. So that's
TGON Nation. Yeah, TGON Nation. It's only $27 a month. The goal is just to provide crazy amounts of value and content for people, and then even look at the game of networking. I mean, because you were one of the people once I started it that came and really helped me a ton. And that group now is the most active, active generic group in all of network marketing. It's had, at one point, we counted over 200 different millionaires that have posted. That's free. And so free there, $27 a month for TGONNation.com. The goal is just provide value. It's a lot of fun.
And where's it go next? So if somebody wants to learn something from you right now, what is it that you're learning right this minute that I don't know?
What is it that I'm learning right this minute?
Yeah, that I don't know, that you're going to be able to teach me. What's like so hot,
yeah,
so
100%.
cutting edge? What is it?
Yeah, so social media right now is by far the hottest thing because it's not taking away from any of the principles, any of the old school principles. They're timeless principles. They're never going to change. But people confuse principles and techniques. And so nowadays, it used to be, I remember 8 years ago, I'm sure Tom probably told people not to use social media. I told people not to use social media 8 years ago. People said, stay away from it. You can't build relationships. But nowadays, people have started to learn that that's not true. You can create better recruiting, better retention. You can create new relationships, new contacts. You can make it where you never run out of contacts. You can build a brand. Now people that used to brag about recruiting 10 people in a week, they can recruit a lot more. Now I understand there's different philosophies and strategies for companies. Some companies will say width for show, depth for dough. But the point is, you're not working this business unless you're talking to new people. And now when you can structure it with these Facebook groups for your teams, and you can have themes, and you can recognize them like crazy, you can have accountability in there, you can have specific customer groups, then you have your own personal profile. I know at the beginning it's a headache and it's overwhelming, but what I try to do is I try to break it down into simple steps so people aren't overwhelmed. And it's like trying to tell someone to run a marathon that can only run a mile. I'm not going to tell them to go run the marathon. I'm going to say, okay, if you can run a mile, let me teach you how to run that second mile. And then we go to the third mile, and then the fourth mile, and the fifth mile. But right now it's all about social media, Tom, as you know, and integrating the timeless principles into social media as newer techniques to use so you can do it bigger, better, faster.
Okay, and I'm completely allergic to all that. I completely can't stand it. It nauseates me. And I just posted on the Facebook wall on the comments, and that is me commenting because I can go to a screen and type like a madman while he's talking. But I'll tell you one thing right now, and the reason I hit this is because my phone's blowing up with people talking about, is that how I get rich in network marketing? And the answer is no. The answer is you need to learn this social media and you need to do it. But that's basically getting those people into your funnel so you can find these human beings, so you can develop relationships with these human beings. So ultimately you bring those human beings into your business as a customer or as a business builder, depending on where they want to be, not where you want them. And that's how this whole thing works. And that's that simple. And if you read The Game of Networking, underneath everything in Rob Sperry's book, The Game of Networking, it isn't all about social media. It covers social media, but the crux of that thing is still the human being. He believes that. Eric believes that. Richard believes that. I walked the streets of Noosa with Richard Brooke, watching him in action, and that's all he believes. That's all Eric believes. That's all Rob believes. So don't think you're going to lose all that. This is just a way to really accelerate it. Right, Rob?
100%. You're never going to get away from the human touch or connection and the real relationships and the things that we've always got to do. We're not robots. If you're going to do that, then you become Spamela Pamela on Facebook. And nobody wants to be Spamela Pamela, right? People want to have real connection. So you've got to make sure that you understand the value of that. And like you said, yeah, I mean, my book, I think I don't even remember now, 109 pages, 120 pages, whatever it is. I would say that 85 to 90% of my book covers non-social media networking principles, timeless principles.
And they're timeless. Something else he just said, and he talked about that during the break. You want to buy those 10 segments. And he said the 10 segments, this came out of his mouth, the 10 segments are the foundation of network marketing. They're never going to change. What I do, and I'm ancient. I don't even know how old I am. Too old. Nothing's changed. In all these years I've been doing that. We've gotten better. Obviously, the internet's here. We don't have to send out tapes and do all that stuff, the Pony Express and all the jazz I had to deal with. But the fundamental thing is exactly the same. I have a huge organization, over 1 million people, and it is driven by 9 people. 9 legs created 1 million people. 3 of those legs are the ones that really, really created all those people, and the other 6 are strong, but not strong like those first 3. That's how it all adds up all the time. You're looking for a human being that is going to go crazy, that you can support and love and drive. And that's all it boils down to. And the way that you do that is you interview 2 people a day, however you find them, social media, however you do it. I don't care. You can put stickers on cars, all the jazz that people did old school, or you can do it like Rob and these people are doing it. I believe Rob is onto it. I believe him, Fraser Brooks. Do you know Fraser Brooks, by the way? Do you know that guy?
I talk to Fraser every day, actually, on Facebook Messenger. He's as good as it gets. He's awesome.
And I wrote him. Here's what I did, and this is really kind of cornball, but I wrote him a love letter because I don't know him, and I heard about him, and I started following him, and I fell in love with the guy because he's such a cross between, he's just awesome. He's just perfect. So I wrote him a love letter and said, I want to get to know you better. And he said, that sounds good to me. And he said, make an appointment in 2024. No, he said he'd be happy to talk to me.
Yeah,
and,
right.
We're going to go crazy. He's going to be my friend. We're already friends on Facebook, but he's going to be a real friend. I'm going to fly. I might, one thing that happens, and there's another thing about me that Rob knows that a lot of people know, because number one, there is no distance in Tom Chenault between thought and send. If I think about you, I'm hitting send. See, if you don't want to talk to me on the phone, you better not give me your phone number, because the minute I think about you, Scott Bardulis I called him a couple of days ago. He goes, Tom, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Why did you call me? I go, that isn't the big question. It was because I was thinking about you, Scott. My question is why in the hell did you pick up? So that's, why would he answer the phone unless he thought I needed bail money or something? It makes no sense. So, no, there's no distance. It is instinctual. That's what I love about me.
Can I ask you a question, Tom?
Yeah, hit it.
When do we have our break? Is our break now?
No. It's for in 5 more minutes. But that was your
All right.
question. That's a terrible question.
So Tom, I no, that's not my question. So Tom, you've been in this industry for some time. You've seen it, and I love how you always are very vulnerable. And you give everybody so much love, and you're like a lion heart is what I call it. 'Cause you go hard, but you've got that huge heart and willing to help. What's the one thing you would say that you haven't said already that would help somebody to have more success? Now, of course, they got to talk to their two people. They got to have real relationships. What's the one thing that you would say that it would take for someone that's starting right now that's either struggling or hasn't hit what they want to hit, or they're starting brand new?
Buy the game of networking. No,
Jeez, how much do I have to give him a referral for
this?
this?
So funny.
I mean,
that's what he was hoping I'd say, so I said it. That's awesome. Okay, so here's you should buy the game. You should buy the game of networking, and that is it's a great book. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. So I go to my room in Brooke's house, and I hate to stay at people's houses because two things are going to happen.
That's really your answer? Fine, go ahead. Come on.
I'm going with this.
Just keep talking. Go.
I'm at Brooke's house, and I don't want to stay at the house because, number one, I know I'm going to plug up the toilet, and I have a phobia about that at anybody's house, and I haven't done that in 20 years, but I live in fear of it like crazy, and I know they're going to have a cat or a dog that's going to want to sleep on my face, and I had no interest in that. And he didn't have it. Neither one of those happened. But he had 2 fake apples sitting on my bed that I thought were real, and I took a bite of one of those. So that was horrible. And then the second thing that was there were 2 books, and one of them was the game of networking right by my bed in Brooke's house in Noosa. So I wanted not the 4-year career. So you need to know that. That's a good thing. I was going to tell you that. So what's the most
Richard? Thank you, my man.
Number one thing I was going to tell people is learn the skills. You've either got charisma or you don't. And I don't know anything that you aren't, you got to learn. So if you haven't got charisma, or if you haven't got the ability to go talk to people, you got to learn the skills. Because if you can learn the skills, then you're going to have the confidence to go get the charisma and all the jazz that you need. So the most important for me, I have so much potential every day, but the people that have the ability to go out there and read, obviously the game of networking, maybe the 4-year career, maybe Beach Money, maybe GoPro, those 4 books, you're going to get a handle on this thing. And I just, every one of those are comic books compared to what you learned in college. You read those 4 books, and then you start becoming a better you, and all of a sudden you own your life. And that's why I love the game of networking. He pulls all those people in, and the stories those people tell about their struggles and their triumphs. They're all you. But you can't be Rob Sperry. If I want to be Rob Sperry, Rob Sperry's one of my idols. I want to be Rob Sperry. But I know one thing right now. I'm a terrible Rob Sperry. I'm a terrible Eric Worre. I'm a terrible Richard Brooke, even though we look similar. I am a terrible all those other guys, but I'm an unbelievably good Tom Chenault. And I fell in love with me finally after doing some personal development at a place called the Lionmark Forum. And I realized I didn't have to be these guys to be somebody. And when I got that, I got it all. So that's my answer to a cornball question.
I love that.
Thank you so
I
much.
love it.
You see,
Hey, too many times. I know when I started, Tom, I felt like I had to be like my mentor and I was trying to emulate and I was saying too many of the same words. And I know the word authentic is thrown around way too much, but the goal is just look at it, throw in whatever word you want. It's to be the bold, authentic version of you. So stop trying to be somebody else. Try to be the best version of you, but make sure you're the bold version of you, because too many times people misinterpret that and they think it's just enough. Be that bold version of you and just be the best you. And I think too many people misinterpret that. So that's great advice for everyone who's starting in network marketing and wherever they're at.
I'm going to take us into a break by talking. What did I figure I couldn't? You're smarter than me. You're better looking. You look like a movie star. You've got all this stuff going on. You're smarter. You're more eloquent, but you can't outlove me. And if you read the board, the comments right now, people are throwing up love like crazy, then love more, fire your brain, hire your heart. I grab that brand on me because no one can outlove me. And with people, that's all I constantly do, whether it be an alcoholic, a homeless person, a new network marketer, or you, Rob Sperry. You know one thing for sure, and that is I love you. We'll be back right after this. And we're back. I love that. So, Rob, good question.
And we're back.
Come on out here, Marianne. Yeah, this is cool. I love you. This is a good show.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Interview style is always my favorite. It's fun.
Look at Marianne.
Marianne, get out there. Come on, let's go.
Gee, many Christmas. Go Broncos. What are you doing dressed in orange?
Well, you guys are all in black. What the heck? I think even Adrian was in black. Can you guys hear? Oh, no.
Well, I thought that was the memo.
Oh, he's got me turned down here. Okay, there. Was
There you go.
that on purpose?
There
I
we
usually have
go.
a mute button on with Marianne because she's yelling at me.
Oh, whatever.
So, Marianne, what's going on with you?
No, first of all, I'm reading Rob's book, so I'm excited about that. And then also, I was just thinking about my contact mapping because I had 17 follow-ups pop up today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Whoa.
No. And here's what the deal is. Left to her own devices, she would have remembered 5 of them, probably not followed up on any of the 5 because that's me, not Marianne. And those 17 people all are going to get a text or a phone call or moved a couple of days and ultimately get followed up on that you would have let fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I thought I was a good follow-upper. Well, how much did Adrian pay you? You're supposed to be told.
Oh, I'm sorry. What am I supposed to do?
No, I can't believe it. No, I can't. You're talking.
Well, no, because I love that app, and I was thinking. I've been in network marketing for about 8 years, and I love what you guys are talking about, the skills and what have you, because it took me about 5 years before I really got started on learning the skills. I think we know what we're doing, but we don't.
And on the game of networking, Rob Sperry knew that I was clueless as a network marketer. And he could not figure out a way to get me to train because he knows how IDD I am. So he made me an administrator on the game of network marketing wall. And what that meant was I had to watch every video and I had to look at every post of people that wanted to post on that wall. Because he knew he could train me by osmosis that way. Because that's how smart this cat is. So you guys need to know that.
I like that. Engage and educate all at the same time.
I will tell you this. This is what I did, and all full transparency is I talk about it in the book, and I talk about the host gets the most. And it's true. The host gets the most. Eric Worre, who's the host of all the network marketers, gets the most. Who's the host right now of the Tom Chenault Show? It's Tom. He gets the most. Whoever's the host, you run a party, who do you want to get to know? You want to get the host. So when I started the game of networking, what I thought is I need to have other successful people because I know that my greatest strength is not how smart I am. It's that I surround myself with other people that are smart, but also with different skill sets. So the host gets the most. So I start the group, but then I surround myself with other people. And I think too many people get caught up in their followers in this business. You want to become a leader of leaders, not just a leader of followers. You need to learn to collaborate.
Yeah, you do. And you got to give away your power. And everybody, it really it freaks me out when people tell me I'm a self-promoter, because I am a self-promoter, but the way that I'm a self-promoter is by promoting other people. That's how I am a self-promoter, and for me that's the best self-promoter. It becomes so much easier because I don't have to live. If I made all these claims about myself, I wouldn't have to live about it. But I get all kinds of credibility by osmosis from Rob Sperry. Tom Chenault is nothing but I've got a giant pedestal that's been around for 15 years. And I'm a very small statue, and I put huge statues next to me, and what happens? Boom. We're coming back right now, so we got a little silence, and we're coming back. We're getting rid of Marianne. See you, Marianne.
See you, Marianne.
And we're back for the final segment with the great Rob Sperry. Go buy the Game of Networking right now. Go buy it. Buy it on Amazon. He says he doesn't care if you buy it or not. I do. And the reason I care about it is because it's going to make you a better network marketer. It's one of my favorite 4 books, and it's also on Richard Brooks' bed, the author of The 4-Year Career. He didn't even give me – I stay at his house, and he doesn't – he probably wanted me to buy a book. Now that I think about it, they were everywhere, and I didn't even get one. But at the end of the day, Richard Brooks has got a great, great sense of style by the fact that he put your book on the table, Rob, so you need to know that. So tell me a story. So we're out here in 10 minutes. What's the future of what Rob Sperry's going to do here? I mean, why are people going to glom onto you right now? They should send you $27 a month. They should be one of your 1,000 feverish fans at $1,000 apiece. That's what you got to do, Seth Gooden. And what else are you going to do? So what else is in store for you over the next few months? Oh, you're doing your big vacation.
So what I'm doing now.
What about the dream of a lifetime
vacation? I'm
vacation?
doing big vacation. I'm speaking a lot. I've done a lot of vacations. I was just in Australia. I spoke there. I was in the UK, spoke there. I spoke in Amsterdam. I spoke in Canada. And then I'm going to be in Europe a couple more times. The plan is in November. And I'm able now to go speak for a lot of companies. So a lot of companies either ask me to speak or different teams ask me to go speak for their teams. And I do that and expand the influence. But I'll tell you exactly why you want to be part of T-GON Nation is because it's a collaborative community. Yeah. It's not too many times there's these communities and it's just hearing one voice over and over and over and over again. And for me, there's no one I want to hear. There's not one person I want to hear every single day train me, no matter how good you are. And so that's why I created the 10 courses and I created challenges. And yes, I do elaborate, longer trainings once a month. And I'll do life lessons and I'll do Monday motivation. But then that's where I bring in other leaders on a consistent basis because I firmly believe that the strength in the community is the collaboration. Yes, the host is going to moderate and help and communicate that, but everybody's got a unique communication style. And I feel like I'm one of the few people in the network marketing industry that's had success as both a distributor, as a consultant, and now as a coach. And so I have that unique communication style that if it resonates with you, come join, come have some fun. We'll take your business to the next level. And if it doesn't, that's okay. You can hear Tom Chenault and I just rant on Facebook Lives over and over and over. That's good. That's fine.
What about personal coaching? So if somebody wants to, Eric does those retreats, and I think he also does one-on-one stuff for like a year commitment for major bank. Are you doing any of that?
Yeah, so I've got my very first mastermind session. We actually got to talk about that. The end of October, I've got 8 different $1 million earners coming to Nuevo Vallarta, which would sound more like Nuevo Vallarta. I want to say it right, just in case Luis is watching here. And that's going to be a lot of fun. And so we'll end up having about 60 different people there. I don't do a lot of personal coaching. I do a little bit mainly for top earners, but I usually only do it for 2 to 3 different people. I like to focus more on teams, focus a lot more just from a leverage standpoint on masterminds. But I'm going to start doing, Tom, I haven't even told you this, I'm going to start doing 2 masterminds a year in different locations where not only am I going to train, not only am I going to do a pregame training where people join a Facebook group and we have training specific things that we're going to teach.
Fraser Brooks is on here.
But also, no, I tagged him. I told him we were talking about him. He better get on. But also I'm going to have the $1 million earners train when they're there as well, where we all collaborate together and mastermind and have some fun. Fraser, you should have joined us. I'm actually doing an interview here with Fraser in the next couple of days, I think.
Yeah, we're going to get him on the game. I mean, I'm telling you what, I like I said, I wrote him a love letter. I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of yours. at the end of the day, I can't believe you didn't invite me to pay my money, not speak, but go to your mastermind. Because I swear to God, there's only 3 or 4 of you out there, and we just talked about Frazier. He's one of them, that I would write a check and go. I mean, I would go. There is so much.
Well, I have a room earmarked. I have a room earmarked for you in my notes, if that counts. But
I swear to you,
I have not made the call, so I got to take responsibility. I know
not
you're not
lying.
kidding.
You know, I spent a year. I was in the business, in the profession for 7 years, and something happened. Something catastrophic happened, and I made a shift. And when I made the shift, I swore I was going to go to every event for 12 months, and I went to everything out there. And none of the social media, this was in 2003, none of the social media was even there, but I went to every one of them for a year, and it changed my life. It made me a better network marketer. I literally went to Harvard in that year and learned what I was doing. And I swear to you it's true, and Frazier's on here, there's a couple more people in that category. I want to write a check and make that same kind of commitment to what you guys are doing, because I think I'm so, I'm 100, number one. And so, I still have a Commodore computer, so I got to get that fixed up. But at the end of the day, what you guys have, I need, and I'm willing to pay for it. And everybody thinks guys like me, we're supposedly hot shots and we got to come in there and be able to speak. No, I can't speak. I don't know jack. I want to learn from you guys. That's the key. How about that?
Well, we're going to make it happen. We're going to talk after. We're going to make it happen. We're going to have some fun. And I know the real reason why you want to come is because you and your wife want to hang out with Janaea. You want to hang out with my wife because she's the fun one. But that's okay. I'm cool with it. I understand. Hang out with my wife, hang out with the $1 Million Earners, learn, and then I'm third. That's okay. I'm cool with it, Tom.
So next week's show, we're going to be out of here in about 10 seconds, but we're not really gone. We got a kid that flew around the world at age 18. His name is Lauchi. And we're also going to have Mark Cohen on, who is just an amazing guy. He tags literally everybody. You all know who he is. He's going to be on the show next week, too, so make sure you tune in for that. Thanks for listening. Thanks, GCN, for giving us the free airtime. We'll be back next week. And don't go anywhere, Frazier Brooks or anybody else. We're not leaving. We are off the air, So what you need to know about GCN is that's the station that hosts Alex Jones, the conspiracy guy. Mary Lou Henner. Let's see who else is on there. George Norrie, Coast to Coast Radio. So it's a blowtorch. So those guys all have big time shows Monday through Friday. And then I've got this lumpy little show on Saturday from 2 to 3, but all the people don't turn their radios off Monday through Friday. So those poor suckers that are trying to listen to everybody else, I'm on 550 stations, and I shouldn't be. I don't deserve one station, but it's just so perfect. So I've got all these people listening on that regular radio station, and so it's a blowtorch and a half, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world. As you said, big pedestal, small statue, Tom Chenault, next to giant statues, Rob Sperry, Frazier Brooks, people like that, Jeff Welch. That's what we do. It's so cool. So, yeah, Rob, whatever you're doing, I'm in. That's what I tried to intimate during the show. I am in no matter what you're doing. You're a beast.
Well, I appreciate it. And you always understand the law of association. You talked about it, and you talked about you're great at being the connector.
Yeah.
And I love it. And that helps out a lot, and it'll be fun. So we'll go hang out in Mexico the end of October, and then let's go hang out with Frazier in November in Europe and have some fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, Chiswick. I want to go there. There's a place I don't know. Have you ever been to the Soho House in Chiswick, Rob?
I haven't.
Oh, it's the coolest little hotel. All the movie stars go there, and it's just this rickety hotel, but it is so hip and so cool, and it's exclusive as heck. But once you get somebody to invite you in, it's not very, very expensive. So you go there, and I am telling you, you are sitting next door to Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's just a great couple of days. So when we go see Frazier, we'll hang out there and have some fun, and it'll be a great time. I know. So, Rob,
I look forward to it. Well, thank you so much for having me on, Tom. Thank you, everybody, for tuning, especially those of you that tuned in all the way to the very end. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Tom.
Love you, Rob Sperry. Hug those kids. See you later.